Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. This is iAllegedly, and I have a very good one for you today. I am in Newport Beach, walking on end of the boardwalk towards Balboa Island, and I want to talk to you about the economy. It's basically running on fumes right now. Absolutely about to stop. The middle class is getting destroyed right before our eyes, and I'm going to cover so much news today in regards to all of this. Before I get into it, please take a second to hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Share this with everybody that you know. Join the email list. It's in the video description below as well. First things first, Ray Dalio owns the world's largest hedge fund. Ray Dalio came out and made a prediction that the economy is in massive trouble, and he sees huge problems right now with basically everything in the economy, and he thinks people need to be prepared for this. Now, Mr. Dalio runs the world's largest hedge fund, Bridgewater Associates, and the thing about Mr. Dalio is I like Ray because he called the 2008 financial crisis with the stock, with the housing market being overvalued. And he has made a prediction that people need to wake up and they need to adjust their lives right now and get themselves ready for the impending doom that's coming, okay? And they need to diversify. They need to look at everything that they're doing financially right now and take it seriously. So that being said, Mr. Dalio is great because he said, predictions are not facts. They're just predictions, and people need to do what they want with them. So that being said, more people need to understand that as we enter these times like this, we need to look at how difficult everything is right now. And no matter what you do, okay, and no matter what business you're in, most people are struggling right now. Now, I get the naysayers that write me and tell me how great everything is in their business and in with real estate in their neighborhood and, things like that. That's great, okay? But if you don't believe that things are bad right now, you really have another thing coming. You really do. Mr. Dalio has been wrong before, he said, but he sees real problems this time, and that people need to diversify their investments. They need to look at different ways to protect themselves. And again, look at everything right now. Look at your debts, look at your investments, look at what you're into right now and see if it's a safe place to be. GameStop, the video game store, okay, which think about that. If you said, hey, I want you to invest in a video game store, most people would sit there and think it was absolutely insane, okay? But the problem with it, because of the short sales and the short positions that people took against this place and the place shooting up, it is a stock market darling, but again, massive losses within that company again. Huge losses. What a shock for a video game company to have losses right now. I can't think of a worse business than a video game company right now. A video game store, video game rentals, console rentals, online rentals. Who's doing that right now? You're going to be able to start playing video games through Netflix and through Hulu and all these other different platforms, and you won't need GameStop. So for those of you that have, bet and think it's going to go to $1 million or $1,000 or whatever you think it's going to, I think you're absolutely kidding yourself right now. I really do. So, share your thoughts on this stuff, guys. It's a beautiful day. Very little surf out here right now, but just quiet walk out here. There's nobody out here right now. I mean, this is nice. People aren't even fishing right now, which is kind of surprising. So it's me and the birds right now. The middle class is absolutely getting destroyed right now. Done, okay? And I'll give you a perfect example. I went to go renew my health insurance today, and I have an insurance man, David, that I've had him for I think about 5 or 6 years now. David's been my insurance man for health insurance. And I really enjoy this guy for a lot of reasons. I don't see him enough because basically I see him when I renew my policy, and I see him if there's ever an issue. Then I call David. But David's a super sharp guy, young, in his 30s, just really, really on top of his game. I went to go renew my health insurance, guys, and it doubled in price. Doubled, okay? And here in California, they've got this thing called Covered California, and they have different insurances that are available through the platform, and my insurance went up 50%, okay? Absolutely staggering, ridiculous. The state of California kicks in through Covered California $1 per person, $1, not a month, $1. Well, I guess it does work out to be $1 a month that they're going to kick in towards the insurance, $1, okay? So there are, millions of people involved in this. The money could be better spent someplace else than giving somebody $12 a year towards health insurance, because it doesn't buy an aspirin as far as it's concerned if you ever go to the hospital. So I ended up changing insurance and getting a better plan. My doctor is in the plan, but again, what does the average person do? We had been told it was going to be 38%. Mine went up 100%. So I had a startup insurance company for the last 3 years called Oscar, and Oscar was very inexpensive when it came out. And I was super familiar with this because they raised a bunch of money in the startup community, and they had 100 million here, 25 million there, 80 million here, to run this company. But they really did, I want to say lowball, but it was very inexpensive insurance for health insurance. So needless to say, I'm with a new carrier for next year, but I don't know how the average person is going to afford this, because Oscar went from being the cheapest to one of the most expensive programs out there. So absolutely outrageous. I'm fine. Please, guys, I know I'm going to get hit up by 40 insurance companies right now. I'm absolutely fine. But what does the average family do? Okay, it's me. It's Dan. It's not Dan and 2 kids. My kids are adults now. They're on their own, guys. So they're not under my policy, and they have their own health insurance. So what happens with the average family right now that is got X amount of dollars left over every month? Okay, let's do it this way. And they got X amount of dollars left over every month, and they just get hit with a 38, 50%, or 100% premium adjustment. What do? Okay, if you think that that's not destroying the middle class, you're kidding yourself. Now, I get people that say, oh, you exaggerate, it's too much, it's too strong. No, it's not, guys. Everything has gone up right now. Everything has gone up. You're seeing I'm south right now. I'm in Newport. I can see container ships in Laguna, way out in the horizon from here. So there's really nothing out here this way. But the trucking companies are fed up with being labeled as the problem with the supply chain issues. The thing that they're upset about is the truck drivers, get paid a wage. They do not get paid to sit there. They get paid for moving loads. And sometimes they'll go to the ports and they'll wait 8-9 hours and not get paid for that. And they're like, I'd rather drive a truck for somebody else, XYZ frozen food, than do this because I'm not getting paid for my time. And who can blame them, guys? Who can blame them for that? So the other thing is the trailers. There's 2 different things. There's containers that sit on the ships, okay, and that hold all the cargo. And those are sitting there, getting older by the day. And then you've got the trailers that are on the trucks and move all the merchandise. The trailers are at a complete shortage right now, and you cannot get them. And also the other thing is, through this whole education, you have to have a specific type of truck that carries those trailers. It's just not every truck's going to carry one of those things. So the parts are on back order, service issues, all these different things that these people are experiencing right now has been absolutely catastrophic for this industry. But they're starting to find the container companies that leave the containers there that are empty. We are not sending anything back to these other countries. We're not, we don't make enough here in the United States. It's the story for another day, but it needs to be dealt with now. But again, you're going to see so many businesses, and talking to the insurance man and people that he knows that are in business that sell certain seasonal products, they're done. They're done because they were supposed to get things in September that they're telling them that they're going to get them in January, February, and they're completely out of business. So you're going to see more and more of this right now, right before our eyes. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. I really want to know what you think. The insurance debacle is a mess. One last thing with this. There's a local hospital here, UCI, University California Irvine. The hospital here just got rid of everybody that had an HMO, okay? Canceled all their policies, all the HMO policies through UCI. So how'd you like to get that facing the second week of December, and you need insurance by January 1st? So all these people with HMOs for UCI don't have insurance. It's an absolute debacle. You're not seeing that in the news, you're seeing that here. And again, he told me that. So these poor people, these poor families, old people, young people, very sick people that don't have their HMOs are being destroyed. And what are they going to do? Okay? What are they going to do? Okay? Now, it's awful. It's awful. So share your thoughts on all this stuff. I really want to know what you guys think, because this is just getting worse before our eyes. As the average person wonders if Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are here to stay, 6 of these companies were just called in front of Congress to testify. And you're going to see more regulation. You're going to see more of this as it becomes more and more real for everybody. Coinbase, Bitfury, Circle, Stellar. Again, 6 companies. Forgot what they were completely, but the advantage to this is that they're going to be here. Now, here's the crazy thing. Fidelity Investments, $1.2 trillion under management. The family has made an absolute fortune from this and from Fidelity Investments. They just announced that they teamed up with a crypto company called Nexo to do crypto loans. So Fidelity, one of the largest investment mutual fund companies on the planet Earth, will be lending people money through cryptocurrencies. Now, the greatest thing that you can do if you don't want to sell your cryptocurrencies is you go take a loan against it. Okay? You can't get taxed on a loan. Okay? Not yet. So these people are going out, borrowing this money against the cryptocurrencies, and Fidelity is going to be involved in this game in the short order. So guys, again, cryptocurrencies are here. They're here to stay. And it's just a matter of, how they're going to be regulated, how they're going to be taxed. If you think that you're going to walk the planet Earth and make crypto trades and not get taxed on it, you're kidding yourself right now. You're absolutely kidding yourself. But Fidelity getting into the game, this is absolutely real, and it's absolutely going to completely change the industry 100%. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. I really want to know what you think. One thing I get a kick out of when I come down to the pier is they've got these earthquake warning signs that tell you if there's an earthquake, there could be a potential tsunami, and run like, Curly from the Three Stooges, take off. So get out of town. Anyways, one thing that's funny is the proposed wealth tax that's being talked about right now is gaining more steam. And here's the funny thing is the middle class thinks, well, I'm not wealthy. It doesn't have anything to do with me. And that's not the case, guys, because what they want to tax, they want to tax 2 areas. They want to tax gains on unrealized gains on property. Now, think about this. You buy your house, and your house, you buy it for $450,000, and it goes to $600,000. Well, you made $150,000. Politicians think you should be taxed on that to help pay for all these programs that they're projecting that they've done, and all the stimulus checks and everything else. That's absolutely insane. Now, it is anticipated that half of all Americans own some stock, okay? So let's say that that's exaggerated. Let's say it's only 30%. People have seen a lot of stock gains in the last year, okay? 2 years, okay? Since the health crisis started. We had a big drop, and then things went up a ton. Now, imagine if they taxed you on those gains. Okay, remember, all we talk about is that someday there's going to be a day of reckoning with the stock market and everything's going to collapse like you wouldn't believe. And that day is going to, drop 30, 40%, whatever it is. Now, the problem with this is, imagine paying on taxes on something like that that's gone up, and it's an unrealized gain. It's not a real gain. I mean, I learned this in high school, I learned it in college. It's not a real gain until the transaction is done, until you sell it. People buy things all the time and go up, $1 million and then don't sell it, and they've lost out. Are you supposed to tax those people on that? Imagine that. That's what they're talking about, which is absolutely insane. Now, the other thing is, we were talking about in the last video about people that make a certain amount of money and feel like they're broke. I got one from Market Watch, a great article that I want to show you, where this couple makes over 200 grand a year, and they've got $1.45 million saved for retirement already. They're 53 years old. They have a $450,000 house. They're 5 years away from paying the house off. They walk around with $20,000 of the credit card debt, which I think is stupid if you've got that much money, but that's me. But they feel that they're broke all the time, okay? Saving $3,000 a month in real cash. And, again, you can't make this stuff up, guys. I get people that would love to make 200 grand a year. And again, imagine having, over $1 million in your retirement account, and you think of yourself as somebody who is broke, okay? That's what floored me. So share your thoughts on all this stuff. You guys can, Dan, they haven't projected that that's going to happen yet. They're trying to figure out a way to tax you to oblivion, okay? That's what's happening. And if you think just because you call yourself middle class that you're somehow going to escape it, and it's only for Elon Musk and Ray Dalio and those kind of people, the 1%ers, okay, the 1/10 of 1%ers, it's not, guys. They're trying to do this to everybody right now. So this is a green belt in Newport Beach. It's really great. I mean, they've got the little soccer fields. You can see the construction. People are still, on the boardwalk. This, if you kept walking, you'd go down to that place called the Wedge. And, it's the Balboa side of Newport. It's nice. It's quiet. I think there's more families out here, but you do get, the occasional homeless person and things like that that's out here. And, but, it's beautiful. The House of Representatives worked out what they said was a debt ceiling agreement, and they were sending it to the Senate. And the Senate supposedly worked out a deal, but not so fast, okay? The deal was published, and you can read it, and I got the link to it if that interests you. But people are fed up with this because they just keep kicking the can down the road. And, they made the promise last time. Remember about 45 days ago? This will never happen again, okay? And like the dysfunctional family member, this is the last time, okay? So that's what this is. There's also a great article about how older Americans that retired, people that are basically 50 plus, that just got fed up during the health crisis or got fired during this time, they want these people to come back to work. Now, here's something very interesting. I experienced this in the medical industry. And prior to the health crisis, there's a guy that spoke at my events who I really like, David Baga. David Baga, at the time, was the #2 recruiter in the entire country for medical device sales. This guy brought more people and got more people employed in medical device sales than anybody else. Again, #2 recruiter in the entire country, made a fortune, young kid, just, really a great guy. But he was a student athlete. He played college basketball and wrote a book, how to get in the medical device sales industry. The Millennial's Guide to Medical Device Sales is what I think it is. Anyways, one thing that was very interesting was companies got very tired of old people, okay? Couldn't say that. You couldn't sit there and go, Dan, you're too old to work for us. But I'm just going to use round figures. What they did with the older people was they said, we're paying Charlie 100 grand a year. Why don't we go hire Denise and one of her friends and get 2 people at 40 grand a piece? So they went out and they did mass hiring with these younger people. thinking that this was going to be the end-all, be-all to solve the sales problem. Well, the problem that they saw after a while is that there's something to be said about experience. There's something to be said about a work ethic, and they had a real problem with the younger people in the industry. So right before the health crisis, I mean, I saw this company after company after company that said, Dan, we're fed up. We're fed up with these kids. And I'm talking people that are 30, okay, and they're too young. Don't get it, okay? Want to be done at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we want somebody older again. So they were starting to pay the older people a substantially, large amount of money to come back and work for these companies. Now, I wonder if they're going to do the same thing right now. Are they going to have this same motivation with bringing these people out of retirement? Because people got tired, they got fired, they got, tired of working. And I have friends that are my age that are like, hey man, I don't want to do this anymore. And, they do different things, they got different talents. And guess where I'm at? I think I'm in the flight path. Anyways, so those pesky jets. Imagine you spend $5, $6, $8 million and you get to hear that every 20 minutes. So anyways, share your thoughts and all this stuff, guys. I really want to know what you think. But again, is this going to fix everything? Couple great articles. Look in the video description below about people need to unretire right now. And it's gonna be interesting because nothing is the same right now, guys. It really isn't. Movies aren't the same. Remember Tom Cruise, they were doing the sequel to Top Gun Maverick. It was supposed to come out 2 years ago, guys. Okay, 2 years ago. And where's that? Okay, what's happening with entertainment right now? I think it's absolutely a disaster right now with that, and how things have just changed. The live conference business, talking to the insurance man today, as much as he says he would love to go back to live events, they're not going back to live events anytime soon. So you're seeing a complete shift in the way people work. And again, if you can figure out a way to make money during this time, you're going to be ahead of the game, way ahead of the game. So share your thoughts on all this stuff. I'm going to end this video with these last two stories. And the first one isn't really business related as much as it is insanity related. And there was a beauty contest in Saudi Arabia, and they had to kick people out of the competition because they used Botox. Okay? They weren't women, they were camels. They found out that the owners of the camels were using Botox to make them look better. Okay, the story's below. You cannot make this stuff up. Okay, ooh, she looks radiant. Okay, the next thing is the Japanese billionaire, Yusuke Maezawa. This guy has been around for a while trying to get himself into space, and he's finally going to get himself up to the space station for 12 days. And he's promised cash giveaways. He's promised to get a haircut in space, do all this crazy stuff, and he still can't get a date. So imagine having billions of dollars, $3.4 billion to be exact, and you can't get a date. So that's, you don't have it bad. Remember that, okay? So the story is below. Please do not forget to hit the like button. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Share this with everybody you know. Also, don't forget we have an email list. The link is below. Click on it, join it. We got something cool coming out this week. Onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon.